Nigel Farage took a brutal swipe at European Commission hopeful Guy Verhofstadt after he condemned the decision of Turkish officials to rerun the Istanbul election, despite previously calling for Britain to have another vote on Brexit. It was revealed on Tuesday that Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's political party have been allowed to hold a rerun of the Istanbul election after the AK party lost by a slim margin. The European Union responded to the election rerun with outrage, despite welcoming a second Brexit referendum. Guy Verhofstadt, Belgian MEP and the all-groups leader in the European Parliament, said the decision to dismiss the result of the first election would ultimately lead the country towards a dictatorship. Speaking from the Brexit Party rally in Peterborough on Tuesday, Mr. Farage ridiculed Mr. Verhofstadt's comments and said, "This morning we learnt that the mayoral election in Istanbul a couple of weeks ago in which Erdogan, the Turkish leader's candidate, did not win. Guess what they are going to do? They are going to rerun the election. Guess what everyone is saying? The Foreign Office is saying it is an outrage to ask people to vote again." Mr. Juncker, the Brexit Party leader, was disrupted by an echo of boos from the audience. Mr. Farage continued, "Juncker says it's an outrage. Guy Verhofstadt says it's an outrage." Disrupted once again by a series of boos from the audience following the mention of europhile Guy Verhofstadt's name. Mr. Farage added, "Yet, they are all happy because they did it with the Danes over the Maastricht Treaty. They told them to vote again. They did it twice with the Irish and told them to vote again. And they all think that we should vote again. Let me tell you something. It would be an outrage to have a second referendum on the same question if we hadn't first implemented the result." The High Election Board, ISK, ruled that a fresh Istanbul mayoral contest will be held on the 23rd of June. Turkey's opposition, the Republican People's Party, CHP, has accused the move being a plain dictatorship. Katy Perry, the European Parliament's Turkey rapporteur, said the decision ends the credibility of democratic transition of power through elections in the country. The AKP had appealed for an election rerun after initial results and a series of recounts showed it had lost control of Istanbul for the first time in 25 years. Justifying his party's move, Erdogan said in a speech on Monday, "We see this decision as the best step that will strengthen our will to solve problems within the framework of democracy and law." But the EU's Guy Verhofstadt ridiculed the move and said, "This outrageous decision highlights how Erdogan's Turkey is drifting towards a dictatorship. Under such leadership, accession talks are impossible. Full support to the Turkish people protesting for their democratic rights and for a free and open Turkey."